Everyone, welcome to the Fast Friday blitz stream here on lichess.org. Ponda's here with me. Hey, what's up, guys? 5+3 casual challenges, okay? We're gonna make it a little bit faster today so we get more games, and everyone's welcome to challenge as long as you have at least 100 rated games approximately. Okay, I'm gonna eat my bamboo cereal, and I'll join you guys in a little bit. So, see you then. Okay, guys, Panda's still he just woke up a little bit late, so he needs to grab some breakfast. We'll get started here. Nils is here. I want to thank Nils for the 1,500 bit donations. Of course, Clash Kid and Midnight Rhino as well. These guys did a lot to support the stream this week, so thank you so much, all of you three. Well, I guess we got the last round of the Olympics today, the Chess Olympics. So we'll see what happens there. It was not the last round yesterday, as I was led to believe at first. 10 rounds is an unusual number, actually. I should have known better than that. It happens sometimes in like round-robin tournaments, but not that typically in open tournaments. Sometimes you can have 10, though. It's more typical to have an odd number of rounds. Okay, Nils, let's get started. It's Nils 5+3. Everyone, not just subscribers, but all the players here are welcome to, all the viewers are welcome to challenge me. But I do ask that you have 100 rated games, as the Ponda was mentioning. I decided to try something different. This is not my Weird Wednesday stream, but when I play a lot of games against someone, I like to kind of experiment with different stuff to try to get a feel for, where their weaknesses are. I don't remember. Well, obviously, I never played the Benoni against Nils. I mean, I'm capable of playing the Benoni. It was never an opening that worked that well for me, to be honest. Let's see. He's going with this 4 pawns attack, aka... Well, it can also be a flick knife variation with bishop e5 check. That's not a problem. Very aggressive line for white. Theoretically, it's okay for black. Knight bd7 was something of a trend for a while. Unfortunately, I don't know the theory here that well, so he might have me out prepared. This is considered to be historically a promising line for white, but who knows? Following what little I know here. Now, knight c7 and knight b4 are both lines. No clue. Like, which is better? I thought I saw a game where, I don't know, I'm starting to think, like, I'm thinking I saw a game where the god of the Benoni played this. Knight b4, rook e1. He's focusing on e5. Better not annotate too much or commentate too much, because the time control here is not 7 minutes or 6 minutes, but it's 5+3. Nils playing very quickly. I can't remember ever really playing a proper Benoni on the stream. I don't know why. I mean, it's something that I have toyed around with in my career. And as a King's Indian player, I have to play the Benoni in some variations by transposition anyway. Here, rook e1, clearly focusing on e5. Guess you can play knight f6. The problem becomes, what's the plan after that? Would be good to have that theoretical knowledge here. Welcome everybody, Asterbait, JCS, Anonymous, Pichu99. Okay, any Benoni players in the house here that want to help me out? Rook e1. I mean, this was kind of weird because it takes the rook off the f file, but at the same time, it's not weird to like try to play e5 in the Benoni. It's probably book. That I mean, it's beyond my theoretical knowledge. Here, I don't know what to do. Don't know what to do. Just trying to get a handle on the situation. I guess a6 is certainly a useful move. I guess there's no reason to not play that. Goes back to f1. Another feature of rook e1. Now that I see this, I actually studied this a little bit with white. I did play this a couple of times with white. I might have had this against a guy named Chris Chase. We had a match. He was a FISA FIDE master from home. Um, solid FIDE master. I remember once we had a match where I played the white side of the Benoni 1 or 2 games. Okay, bishop f1 looks good. I really don't know what to do. Hopefully you don't either. That's what we're hoping. But he's got a huge timeout edge. Jeez. 1785, he has 15 moves of theory and he plays it in 10 seconds. I mean, dude, that's insane. Most people who are 1785 on lichess don't even know 5 moves of book. And Nilsson knows like 15. Well, in this case, 13. I'm out of book for sure now. I mean, maybe A6 was right, but it took me a long time. That's a Benoni. Mr. Kiley is like, he's like 1900 and he doesn't know any theory. But it seems like Nils is something of an opening file, I would call him. Opening a file. Opening the file. The worst opening for me. What does white do next? You know, it's not that obvious. I mean, I think that's the drawback with rook e1 is that you lose a lot of the natural attacking plans with f5 and stuff like that. This rook has a lust to attack down the f file normally, and when you do rook e1 bishop f1, I know this is probably book. I actually had a pamphlet on this line a long time ago. All right, check. He's coming to c4 if he can get it, but now we're looking for something else. Weaknesses in his position, anything? f5 is so risky. Anything obvious here? You know, it's tempting to play like knight f6. Alright, I don't know what else to do. For lack of a better idea. Rook a3 is starting to appeal. Okay, that's a standard Benoni idea. But in this particular position, I mean, usually you do that like when black plays queen a5 or something. I mean, yeah, there are possibilities. My friend Joe, he's a 4-pawns attack player. He always called this the river guarding rook. He's also like Chinese by some kind of Chinese thing. Maybe Chinese chess. I'm not sure where he gets it from. But Chinese heritage. So h3, I thought about this, of course, and then I go knight h5. And we got some dark squares to work on, to nibble on over here. The typical go, though, I mean, I'm not really threatening anything devastating, except for knight takes f4. He'll defend that, obviously. Just attacking with the pieces. Okay, it's hard to play positions where you take a lot of space. Again, I've mentioned this before, but that's why I like to play hyper-modern stuff, especially against lower-rated players. I think it takes a strong amount of experience to play positions with a space advantage. Now, bishop d4 check. Queen f3 drops knight c2 type of stuff. I'd also have tactics with like bishop takes c3 and knight takes d5, but I don't really want to give up my dark square bishop. Got the classic active pieces of the Benoni. I think you had to keep the knight on d7 to exchange the c4 knight. Well, that's like standard in some lines. But I'm not sure in this crazy variation if a plan that tame will cut it. I don't know. But I think we've got some threats now. What's the most amazing game I played in your chess career and over the board tournament? I don't know. I had a really nice sort of pretty win against Polish woman Iweta Rylich, where I had a kind of beautiful decisive combination, just kind of elegant. I like that game. That's probably my personal favorite. There was a very unusual winning tactical sequence. Looks like he should be getting mated here. But where's the mate? Do we go queen f2 check first? Excuse me, that's g3. And then bishop takes h3 is possible. But it looks like black also... Yeah, bishop takes h3. Ooh, that's brutal. Knight e4 doesn't cut it. The Benoni is tough. Yeah, who was that suggesting bishop takes h3? On the same page with me. Antonio. Sharp move. Good eye, man. Yeah, rook a3. Well, this shows Pichu's, the benefit of the river guarding rook, right? That I was talking about. This is something I've used a lot with white. Queen f3. He just resigned here. So I bishop takes g2 check. That doesn't actually work. I mean, the rook is hanging on e1. I guess that's why he resigned. But he's not getting mated, like literally. The prettiest mate is... Obviously he can't take, but on like knight e4 or something, if he tries to attack my queen, I have bishop takes g2 check, and it's decisive. Here. This is nice. Bishop h3 and mate. Yeah, the e1 rook is hanging, so you could play it out and probably be down the exchange or something. I wouldn't resign if there was like $100 or more at stake, but you're probably lost. Okay, Pichu 99, S Villain, Morales, Ignis, 10-year-old. A lot of our regulars who aren't necessarily subscribers. That's why I do the stream on Friday, give everybody a chance. Hyperpotzer, I never attributed like endgame skills to the gender of people. I think it's more about just experience. It's not really. All right. Let's see. Younger players in general should be worse in endgames, although some, like our subscriber friend and donor Clash Kid, seems to show an affinity, a natural affinity for endgame play. I think that exists, so it's not just like young people are worse in endgames. I do think that experience helps a lot, though, with endgames. Okay, so this guy's really good. He performs way above his rating. Mr. Killy, it's cool. As I said before, I mean, if you're broke, as I am, it's fine. I mean, there's no reason for people to subscribe. It's the free rider system. No, I'm just kidding. It's totally up to you guys. Like lichess as well relies on some support from people who can afford it. If you can't, it's fine. All right. But I just appreciate, you guys who can't subscribe just being here to contribute positively to the stream. iChess contacted me recently to do a couple of opening surveys or something, and and I was gonna do one. I have to do one on the what is it, the Lasker variation, but Pichu is not playing that. He's playing the Capablanca system here. I guess you can call it the Capablanca system. It's not really correct. It's funny that I'm going to do a video on the Lasker variation because I hate playing it, but they didn't give me too many choices. 92 was probably bad. Possibly. This is all theory. This is Rubinstein's move. Rubinstein, Queen C2. I'm kind of going back to that after always thinking, okay, this gives black good chances to equalize. True. It may be as good as anything. You made mistakes, sure, but you didn't play things that made no sense. What's that? You talking about Nils's game? Well, I mean, I'm almost 100% certain that that's theory through move 13, at least. And then he made some sort of inaccuracy, I guess. Is this Floor versus Capablanca or something very similar to that? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Let's say that's the exact position, but it could be. There's this like famous game where Capablanca had this Isolani with the bad bishop on d7 against the knight on d4, and it may be this exact position. Actually, Floor was unable to win. He was of course like a legendary positional player, but it looks like there's some complications here. Okay, Queen b4 check, Queen d2, and then let's say Queen b5, Knight d4, Queen c4, b3. I have various ways to eventually make it possible, maybe to castle. Let's see, Queen b4 check, Queen d2, Queen b5, Knight d4, Queen a6. That looks like an interesting line. I guess it's kind of a hassle for me to castle, and I didn't mean to make a rap song out of it, but that's what I'm talking about. But it wasn't Lasker Capablanca. I thought it was Floor Capablanca. Is it Lasker Capablanca? Well, I mean, maybe I misremembered it. I always thought that game was Floor versus Capablanca. Morales. But I mean, there could have been more than one game from a similar position. No doubt there are. I mean, there have to be this type of position where there's like a bad bishop against a knight with an isolated pawn. But it's a little strange that it would be Capablanca twice the same exact thing. Maybe it was Lasker versus Capablanca. Maybe Floor had the slightly different position out of this line with a few more pieces on the board. I can't remember now. Floor not a household name like, Lasker, but one of the greatest players ever to not be world champion, I think. Czech Grandmaster. So black played Queen e4. What do we do? Well, I mean, I'm certainly fine after trading queens. I would fix the structure, but I would have a good knight and be able to put my king on d2. But I'm not sure that I'm better. Okay, we get to the c file first, but he can cover in time. Although I'm concerned about the potential for White's king to become very strong quickly here. If I switch positions, in a position where we trade the rooks, my king could dominate from d4, and the pawn on e4 could actually become a decisive weakness. Ding had a nice game against Duda. I know. The Chess Bra said that they were saying that it was like one of the best games of the Olympiad, right? It's like the perfect move, f5. We're just slightly better. He's basically playing perfectly. It's probably just a draw. I don't expect any center pawn loss from either side in this game. Fortunately, my king has to go back, so his king gets to the center faster. Therefore, I can't really have an advantage. It's just equal. So 92 was bad in Nils's game. This is just a draw. His space really compensates for his bad bishop. I got the king to the center. I don't know, Pichu plays more like a 2300 than someone who's rated 2050, I would say. His rating is seemingly like way too low for his strength. This is just a draw. I can't win. I would expect this will slow down our stream, but if we can we request computer analysis? Is that going to kill me? Is that going to slow down my CPU? If I don't run the Stockfish 9 in the browser here, maybe it won't be so bad. I would expect this is like nearly a perfect game by both sides. I might get some kind of inaccuracy for playing rook to c1 and letting my king get drawn back, or exchanging rooks. Maybe the computer will give me an accuracy for that. Basically a perfect game by both sides. Serbian second team drew Russia 2 days ago. Wait, how does Serbia have a second team, Mr. Kai? I don't understand. Why would they have a second team? That doesn't even make sense. That's totally random. Like, I understand that Georgia has 3 teams because they're the host. But why the heck does Serbia have 2 teams? How is that possible? It's like Eastern European corruption or something. You just pay more to have 2 teams? Maybe that explains why the Serbian team I saw was so low rated, with like Dusan and Popovic playing on board 1. Where's Serbian team 1? Because our best 2600 players did not want to play at the game. Well, I'm not sure they didn't want to play, man. I mean, it's like Rockport. They didn't want to play without getting compensated properly. I mean, you know, Robert Marcos, Ivanisevic, and all those guys, I mean, they probably just wanted to get some kind of normal, you know, amount of money. And I guess the Serbian Chess Federation. But there's always a lot of scandals with the Serbian Chess Federation. This worked in the Hungarian one. Pichu with a 6 center pawn loss. I had 7, no inaccuracies for either side. And yeah, Andich too. The original team is not playing, so this is Scrubs. The Scrub team's doing pretty well, though. They're not going to do any worse. They're not doing worse than the original team would have done. They're like motivated. That happened once in like Major League Sports, I remember. You know, some kind of Scrub teams. Because the original team wouldn't play. Alright, let's play the next game. Cheesy, what's up? What's up, Cheesy? You're staying up late? Or early? The S-villain here from Serbia. But I mean, the guys like who are 2500 are super motivated. They're like, wow, we get a chance to be in the Olympics. We would never normally make it, you know? And they're, you know, so they're playing better than they, you know, they probably would because they're so excited. Interesting comment. It's early here in Europe. Yeah, it's 10 o'clock, 10:30. Early for me anyway. I thought that maybe you let me get a little edge in that. But the Queen's Gambit declined is kind of a problem. I don't have a solution for how to get an advantage with white in the QGD. I mean, I've tried many different things. You can try whatever you want. Bishop f4, bishop g5, the exchange variation, anything, and if black plays the right things, you're not going to get an advantage. I mean, I guess that's the same with every opening, though, you know. If dudes are going to play perfectly, I mean, I can't beat them, you know. And I'm not always playing perfectly myself. Queen c7 is an interesting move. It's strange, but probably not bad. I mean, why would there be anything wrong with Queen c7, I wonder? This is a totally new move to me, but it seems very logical. He can play it in the spirit of like a main line where you're playing like rook d8 or whatever. That's interesting. Okay. We're new territory here. Honestly, Pichu, I would try to play something, you know, more interesting, but it's five minutes. It's not a lot of time to think about like deep strategy and stuff. I just went with the variation that I know. First game I saw without any inaccuracies. Well, it was a short game and not a lot of tactics. I think that technically, you know, it's possible that rook takes c8 was an inaccuracy by me to trade the rooks and have to play rook c1 and trade off with my king getting kicked back to c1. But it's not clear. I mean, if I have no advantage, I have no advantage. I didn't know what to do there. I mean, maybe the S-villain is actually transposing to theory here with b6. Sergei Kudrin used to play this line. I mean, it's like kind of early to put the queen there. But I don't know how to take advantage of that, necessarily. Alright, we'll just play as if it was a b6 line. Well, you're black, man. I don't think you should blame yourself, you know. I played a kind of known toothless variation, I guess. You've got to play... If you don't play the right move, you know, you could get a disadvantage. I mean, you played correctly. It's very possible this transposes into b6 variation of the rook b1 Grunfeld. Not sure. Maybe I could have played d5 last move. Kind of double-edged to create some holes in the structure. You know, the pawns like this are usually best. Now rook d8. So d5 is the question. Can I do this? Is it a good move? Or does it just create holes for his pieces to kind of jump into? Swidler would play stuff like knight d7, knight f6, though it weakens black's kingside maybe a little bit. Here I have bishop g5. This looks kind of interesting because it creates some problems with that business. I suppose h6 weakens his kingside but drives me off the f4 square. Though I'm heading for g3, it doesn't seem like a bad idea. Basically, the idea of bishop g5 was to prevent knight d7, which is probably his preferred method of development here. He could try knight c6, but it's obviously, you know, prone to getting attacked with d5. That may not be a problem, though. Yeah, towards g3, I mean, I'm going to hit his queen. Nothing like earth-shaking. He can always move it again to like d7. This is actually not a bad square. He just discovered a tactical idea here. Bishop takes e7 and rook e8 on e4. I've been unknown for a while, but I've been known to unleash the random tactics. Here, I think we're gonna go for it. Hey guys, you know, if you're a really good strategic player, you basically think that William is a cheap tactical genius. But if you're a really good tactical player, you think that he's just a boring positional player. He's deceptive like that. It's hard to define a style, you know, with me. But hopefully this works. And then we've got d5 and the fork, the big fork at the end. This is the key idea. But anyway, I mean, it's it's a lustful pawn. Curious about e5 controlling the knight and bishop. The Ponda's here. The Grunfeld pawn, I mean the d5 Ponda is... I think Ponda... Every pawn has to have like an animal named after it. Okay, c4, I was just thinking about this. It shouldn't really change everything. Like, I mean, I could just play queen c2. That looks like the safest response. Keeping everything protected. I mean, there is an intermezzo there. Wait. Maybe I don't want my queen on that square because of rook takes e7, d6, bishop takes e4. Queen e3 might in fact be better. Queen e3, rook takes pawn d6. He's still got stuff on e4. But maybe it's not fast enough, the stuff on e4. Alright. This is a standard square to go to in some positions of this nature. My style is going positionally until he's so much ahead there are tactics you can't exactly avoid. I mean, dude, I can read to you the whole, you know, this is quote from a book I like a lot. This I recommend to a lot of people for strategic understanding. But the quote in the opening, you know, of the book is the description of the book, the flap of the front of the book. It says, you know, how a series of seemingly minute advantages, superior force in a critical area, etc., can make the final attack when it comes irresistible, with or without clear material advantage. I mean, it has been known for 100 years that a positional advantage is a prerequisite for a successful attack. That's just like basic, you know. You have to have a positional advantage for the attack to work. Otherwise, it shouldn't work. It should not be possible. I mean, so it's like Botvinnik played with this basic philosophy. You just accumulate advantages, and then the attack becomes irresistible. Man. I'm playing very good today. For a morning, got enough sleep last night. If you can't play the best players in the world, you couldn't play in any other case. What are you guys talking about? The Olympiad again? Okay, so I'm up. We have to make a choice here. Queen takes e4. No, I just do this. He's got some problems with that rook d8 check business. Now he like literally has to play bishop c6, which doesn't look healthy. He has some funny wins. Rook takes d7 and rook d1 looks decisive. Funny haha. There's nothing you can do. The pawn is just too strong on c7. Is there any defense? Knight f8 maybe. Would knight f8 have held? No, I mean, no. It doesn't hold. Maybe knight f8 and then rook d8, rook c8 or something like that. Whoa. Shouldn't this just win? Is he going to get some counterplay? I think I just upped the screwed. Maybe not. This is good enough. I didn't calculate this far enough, though. I mean, it would have been good to work this out all the way. So bishop c8, rook d8 check, king moves, or bishop f8, bishop takes c4, with the idea of bishop d5. Luckily for me, it's like, I think, winning. That doesn't help at all. I mean, the only move was bishop c8, probably. Let's see. I don't want to turn on the analysis board. Can you look at knight e5 instead of c4? Say what? Oh, c4 for black? Yeah, we're just winning no matter what, it looks like. But I thought that rook c8 check here was the only move. Bishop c8, excuse me. Bishop c8. Rook check, maybe bishop f8? No, rook check, king h7. Bishop takes c4, bishop f6. And then like bishop d5. Whew, he's screwed. He's like losing at least a piece. I mean, that's terrible. There's nothing you can do. You're scared. So, wait, you're talking about c4? d5? Right, I mean, c4 isn't necessary. It was a try. So you're talking about knight e5. I have to play knight takes e5. And then the point is queen takes e5. I honestly, JCS, I looked at knight e5, bishop e5, d6, bishop takes e4. In my mind, I was like, no, that doesn't work. But maybe knight e5, queen e5, cheese e5. Cheese e5. No, knight e5, queen e5. So there's no tempo with d6, and he's on the e4 pawn. That might actually... Was that what your idea was, JCS? Take with the queen? Because I missed that. I mean, it's very complicated. Even if he wins the exchange, I still have a very strong pawn on the 6th rank. So probably I'm still okay somehow. But there's no guarantees. I missed queen takes as well. Yeah. I mean, I just assumed takes d6 and I'm good. That's what we both overlooked. Probably really reasonable, very reasonable resources. Like my continuation is 4, so I play d6, then bishop takes e4, and you're gonna win the exchange there. I'm probably okay because I'll probably win an exchange back, but I'll be drawing at best because of my worse structure or something. Okay, let's go on to the next challenge, Morales. Okay, there's not a lot of time to try to play perfectly. Guys, I have a simul on Sunday if you'd like to play. Yeah, it's possible it's an equal endgame. Very likely opposite colored bishops with like the same number of pawns or something. Maybe I'll be down a pawn, opposite colored bishops or something like that, but still a draw. So Morales is always tough. I hate playing the Grand Prix attack. Alright, let's try something. Let's try to improve our play in the stupid Grand Prix attack, because it makes me crazy. I mean, I never used to really be bothered by this opening, but Morales has kind of perfected it. Now he played bishop e5. Okay. I don't like allowing bishop takes c6 when white can play Grand Prix attack type formations. It's okay in the Rossalimo, but this is better for white. So I've had bad results with both sides of this line. I think I won once against somebody with white, but mostly I've done badly. I beat... Who did I beat? I don't remember. Actually, maybe I never won a single game. I was playing this back when it started to be fashionable, like 10 years ago or 15 years ago. More like 2005-ish, before I quit playing tournaments for a while. And then I lost. I remember I lost with white against Aman Simatowe, which really bummed me out. It was like the first round of this round robin when I destroyed my ELO rating in New York at the Marshall Chess Club in like 2000. It was 2003, I think. I basically began to destroy my ELO rating. Okay, e6. We've played this before, but knight e2 or knight f3. I don't know which one of those is better. I mean, could I play knight c6? I lose a move there, right? Knight c6, d4, pawn takes pawn, knight f6. Anyway, he doesn't even have to play d4 if I retreat my knight away. And I guess the theory is a6. But actually, he can take on d4 here. I think the theory is supposed to be knight f6, actually. There's knight e6 and knight e7. Those are the main moves. a6 is probably bad. But he played d3, and now we can transpose. Maybe it's not bad, though. I'm not sure. I think I've had this before. b5, knight takes b3. This is, like, by transposition, a normal line, which we might have even played before. There's a famous game Aronian had with white in this line. How do you remember all the masters you played? Just the ones that, like, destroyed my life. No, I mean that game was like the first round of a round robin, and I lost this guy, and it just like totally crushed my soul, and set the tone for like one of the worst tournaments of my life. So I didn't win a single game in that tournament. It was like 6 draws and 5 losses or something. All right, castles. I was drinking way too much. I was like totally full alcoholic mode because I had a lot of personal problems. We have our excuses, but that was in 2003, my former life. So bishop g5, bishop e7. This is theory, I believe. I don't know about the move order though. In the initial part, like a6. Yeah, we remember those key moments in our life. I remember my opponents pretty well. I mean, I've probably played like 2,000 games in 30 years, and I bet I've played 2,000 tournament games. It's still, I don't remember them all. There are definitely, like, the other day we had a stream on like Tuesday when this game popped up, or Wednesday. The game popped up that I didn't remember the guy at all. It turns out it was some random Hungarian FIDE master, an older guy who I have absolutely no recollection of playing. Like, there's some very, very vague recollection of the game when we played through the moves. Here, Morales playing very fast. All right, dude. I'm gonna close this down. I think I had the same game against Yellow Dragoon, actually. The Irish guy, Henry Lee. This is not like Gawain Jones versus somebody. Yeah, it's the same game with Henry Lee, I'm pretty sure. Gawain Jones versus somebody, and I played something like g6, and I succumbed to some kind of horrifying attack after playing the very natural move g6 here. But it's not necessary to play g6, probably. But I've noticed a massive increase in Morales' playing strength. Guys, is the stream okay? Audio, video, everything? I was saying we have a Sunday simul. It's 6:30 p.m. CEST on Sunday, Central European time. And guys, in 2 weeks, I'm going to be streaming from the United States again. Just so you knows. I mean, is this the exact position I had with Yellow Dragoon, or was it just something like slightly different by one move? I don't know. But he beat me really bad. It was like pretty much all theory, so to speak. I don't see why it should be so bad, but once he wedges the knight on h5, I'm not going to be able to get rid of it. Maybe I'm being paranoid, but it's like g6, queen f3, and I've got problems, man. I can't afford that. And maybe it was like bishop h4, knight h5, g6, knight g7 check, king f8, and then I get squashed or something. Okay, I'm just gonna like lose on time. I really have no clue what to do. Pretend it's a Richter Rouser. This is actually a horrible move, probably. But I was about to lose on time. You really have all this committed to memory, so I think this move is kind of wimpy to play knight d5. It's okay, you know, it's fine, but it also seems like it reduces white's options a little bit. Where should my king go? I'm going to take a little walk here. All right. White is better. Just going to try to make a fortress. Batten down the hatches, mateys. We got to just kind of close it down if we can. And hold on for dear life. Man. guy's playing some power chess. Four minutes? Power chess? My bishop is like the little bishop that could. But sometimes Morales has a tendency to play too fast when he's better. I mean, maybe that's a thing here. Damn, dude. I don't like this a whole lot. Yeah, you think that was needed? Perhaps. I mean, seriously. What a game. I'm not sure that would have solved all my problems either. But it would have been better than what I did. Yeah, he's playing about 200 points stronger than he used to of late. He might have made a mistake, though. I mean, he was always tough, but it seems like there's been a dramatic increase in his strength. As I said, he's actually up to 2070 in rapid. That seems more realistic than this 1900 rating he has here for blitz. He overreached a little bit. But how bad is it? Okay, what's next? Wow. The take back, dude. I'll just lose time. Whatever. I should play queen d1 here, but I don't feel right about taking a take back. I hung my queen. I mean, it's not a mouse slip or something. It looks like after queen d1, I could put up some serious resistance. But I felt bad. I just dropped my queen with queen f5. I can't accept a take back. I'm gonna have to resign, man. Anyway, great game by White. That was incredibly impressive. But I think that's the same game. That's the same line I lost to Henry Lee. The exact similar way, except in that game, I didn't play king e7. I guess I tried to castle, and he got this like really wicked attack with the two knights in the closed position. So, good game, man. You're playing insanely well, like lately. I don't know what you did, but you magically are strong, dude. You're very, very strong. Good. You know, you must have worked a lot on the game in the summer, because I noticed a huge difference since you weren't playing on the stream too much. You cannot hear the comments. Is better. It's probably better because it's distracting when you play. No phones. ET no phone. 10-year-old. 10 years old. Good job there. Well, your only problem is that you do what a lot of people do and you play too fast. When you have 3 minutes and the other guy has 10 seconds in an increment game, you don't blitz them. You know, this is not the right strategy, dude. You sit there and you think until you Play the best move. It is not sudden death. You're lucky that I dropped my queen because you should have been in trouble there. You know, you don't blitz people in increment chess. You just use your time to put the maximum pressure on them with the best possible move. It's absolutely the opposite of like sudden death. In sudden death, you can use the time as a weapon, but don't try to do that in the increment. I mean, a little bit, you know, to try to be quick, okay, fine. But you've got 3 minutes, I've got 10 seconds with a 3-second increment. Don't fall into the trap of blowing your position by moving too fast. You know, you have to just try to take your time and use your time to play the best possible move. That's your quote-unquote problem with execution, is simply bad time management, I think. All right. Bishop g2, and I think you probably played fast, you know, a little too fast in the whole game overall. But that's splits. You're playing at like a 5-0 pace. Yeah. He was commentating before the game on how well I was playing. He was afraid. Please. Okay, d4. He's like softening me up. You know, whenever people make those like compliment type of things, you know there's going to be a tough game ahead. Oh, I'm so scared. He's playing so well. Then he crushes me. Who was that did that recently? Well, actually, Baleful tries to do that sometimes, but it hasn't worked for him. Anyway, good game, Morales. BC. I don't know. You must have been playing a lot or something because you've gotten much better. Maybe also the time. I don't know. You know, maybe this time works for you. When I'm in the United States, you can't play. Maybe it's too late or something like that. B takes C castles. And it's a stupid semi-Tarash. I hate these positions. Pretty boring stuff here, really objectively. Although, yeah, I really don't know anything about this line. Typically, I don't play this with white. Okay, we'll play something kind of slow. E3. E4 blocks my bishop on G2. I'm not that sure if I like that or what the plan is there. Asterbait, what's up? Can you ban that guy? I should ban him. He did lose a couple games to me recently, but he always plays well. He used to play like pretty well, but now he's playing flat out well. But that line's not the first time I've had trouble there. You know, I was very much crushed by that game by Henry Lee last. It was like a year ago, I think, in Blitz. And then when I looked it up, Lee had followed this whole, you know, the whole thing is like a game by Gawain Jones. And, I mean, the variation is a bit of a problem. Okay, now just b6. This is well thought out. He just has 95, bishop b7. Now I don't have any advantage, really. Okay, I have the center. It's like not the kind of advantage you want to have in a 5-minute game, I would say. It's just too tedious. This tiny central majority being my only advantage. Such a good system for black. This player from Azerbaijan, you know, you can't be from Azerbaijan and not be a good player. It's the same with a few other select countries that are, well, perennial favorites in the Olympiad, right? Azerbaijan did badly in the Olympiad this year, but I can't understand that. It's kind of a freak accident. They're always good, and they can't ever be bad. Video's stuttering. That's not good. Well, I do have trouble sometimes when we're running with the engine on, but I don't think that's really an issue right now. I have noticed that our numbers are a little bit down as far as viewers on the weekday mornings. I'm a little bit concerned about that. Why is there suddenly a drop off? We might have some skipped frames though. Let's see. It looks like we have some skipped frames. My CPU might be running a little too much. Did anybody else notice that we're losing frames? I hate this position, man. I hate the semi-Tarash too. I literally have no idea what to do. This is just utterly lame for white. Yeah. I mean, I don't even have Stockfish running. I don't have any other applications running. Ever since I started the OBS, Streamlabs OBS, it seems to suck up a lot of CPU, and the older version, the regular OBS, online broadcasting software, didn't do that. Maybe with this OBS, Streamlabs OBS, I need to like run it on a faster computer because it's just hogging my CPU. We'll have to go buy another computer. Actually, I have another computer I could use, my old one. The webcam sucks on that. I can use a separate webcam. Maybe we'll switch it up to the other machine. Eventually I have to try something here with E4. But this is sort of defective. He has a bit of a queen problem. Where to put the queen? Probably back on b8. I don't really see another place. Maybe queen b8 and hiding there. Queen e7, bishop a3. But somebody's getting in time pressure. That's good. There's a tiny bit of video. Yeah, we're probably dropping some frames, but this is really not for months now. I think it's since I started using the Streamlabs in the last month, particularly. It's like a heavier, more demanding software. But if it continues, then we'll have to switch it up. I like using this machine. It's got all my stuff on it. If I switch to the other machine, we'll have to use a separate webcam. I did that though. It's okay. The other one's kind of full. I have to empty the disk. Probably get a lot of programs off there. Maybe I can work on that this week. Okay, rook on f to e8. That looks like a good move. Guys, I will be, as I said earlier, I will be moving to the United States for 6 weeks. For lack of a better plan, h4. If you close the center with like e5, d5, I guess I can go bishop h3. g6 looks kind of reactionary, but I mean, he does have back to g7, so it makes some sense. This guy's not a bad player. I mean, his only problem is that he's a little bit slow. Like the opposite of a Morales, who plays too fast. For lack of a better plan, I can't live in the United States. Can you do a British accent? Yeah, I used to do fake British accents when I was drunk. But I'm not very good at it. I don't know if I can do that. David Norwood. International Grandmaster David Norwood. You have to practice the British accent. I haven't done that in years. I'm really not in practice. David Norwood. David. Bishop g7. Yeah, so this guy's playing well. Double fianchetto, like a Grunfeld. Telling you, everybody from Azerbaijan is good. Alright, h5. Can we play like a King's Indian attack with King h2, Rook h1? David Norwood was legendary for his drinking alcoholic beverages at the board. And he was always a hero. A hero to me for that. I remember once he played like, who was it? Now I can't remember. He played someone in the last round of the World Open, I remember, and he had like all these like margarita glasses lined up. It was a bad influence on me. Man, knight e7's a good move. Am I really seriously going to try to play for some direct attack here? I mean, is this reasonable? Black is good. I hope he's not going to sacrifice a piece or something with some kind of positional sacrifice. Thank you, Cheesy. But I wish I could do a better English accent. We don't have any English followers in the stream now. They would be giving me no end of grief. If Arsenal fan was here. I can't do like a Cockney accent. But again, I was better when I practiced a little bit. It helps if I'm drunk too. Leading chess countries have an average better casual players too. Just culturally picked it up. I mean, it seems that way. We joke about Armenian taxi drivers and stuff. But I mean, in a culture where like the average taxi driver knows the name of like a good player in their country, yeah, the level is probably better than most. That's like the measurement of the cultural chess strength of a country. Does the average taxi driver, Jesus, dude, with a knight f5. I was just kidding about that. Seriously, now he's got like e5. He had e5 there. I'm lucky to even be alive here. Wow. What do I do now? He's gonna flag me. Oh no. Stay away from me. It's like all over me. Bishop takes. Dude, stay away from me. I think I've got some lag going on. I like hiccup-y moves, kind of. That was scary. This guy's good, you know. He may be 1900, but he's good. He's like Morales. 1900 and scary. An extremely strong casual player. Yeah, he was really coming up with stuff like knight f5. I mean, I predicted this actually. I was kind of half joking, but I seriously, I felt this. I felt this coming. You know, when he played 97. His understanding of coordinating the pieces is excellent, you know. Probably he's a player who was probably like a strong candidate master, well, not master, but like, what do you call it, you know? Like a strong talent when he was young or something and then maybe didn't play. Or maybe he's just 10 years old. That's what he's claiming. He's 10 years old. Possible. If he's 10 years old, he's freaking scary. If he's an Azeri taxi driver who's like 50, who was like, you know, a strong player in his youth, then I'm not surprised. But it's scary if he's 10 years old. Alright, I think he's like a 50-year-old taxi driver who doesn't play enough, but should have probably been a master. That's my guess. Knight f5, there might be ef5. There might be, but I was terrified. Bishop takes g2. Pawn takes, bishop takes g2. Like, I'm not just getting hosed on h1. I don't know, man. That was scary. Okay, Baleful's up next. We were talking about Baleful. Yeah, but all taxi drivers in Eastern Europe know about chess. There's not that many things to do while you're waiting for your next fare. You know, in the era before like mobile phones, the taxi drivers either play chess, they play poker and cards, or they play like backgammon or dominoes. They have to play some kind of game and be very good at it. It's like a requirement at middle-aged taxi driver school. You have to do something in between your fares, you know, and play some sort of game, usually for money, probably. All right, Baleful is up next. Generally, taxi drivers are very intelligent people who, for whatever reason, had to resort to this as like a backup job. You find a lot of like doctors and lawyers who got disbarred being taxi drivers. All right, bishop f5. I don't really like driving, so I wouldn't be a good taxi driver. Like, I've had situations where I called a taxi driver and they ask you what you do, and you say I play chess, and then they'll launch into this like long dialogue about how they know like Portish Laosh and they follow chess all their lives, you know. Like, you'd never get this if you just picked a random person off the street, you know. I mean, taxi drivers know a lot of stuff. Nowadays though, it's changing, because with like, you know, obviously with what do you call it, GPS, I mean, anybody can be a taxi driver now. So it's like Uber, you know. The Uber drivers don't know jack about chess typically. All right, Baleful's going for it with the h5 h4. It seems like, you know, we could probably make him sack the exchange here, and I'm not sure if he really has enough, but I'm also not sure he doesn't. I mean, it looks a little scary. Uber is just and GPS are just destroying the level of chess amongst taxi drivers. The average has gone way down. All right, let's just develop our pieces. You can have h5, h4. What's up, Infinite Flash Chess? The average rating of taxi drivers in the last 5 years has dropped by more than 100 ELO points. Baleful closes it down with h3. I think that's kind of counterintuitive. I mean, not to say that this is not a powerful pawn, but I don't really see why you'd not want to like keep the option to open the file there. Most usually you're going to attack down that line. So I'm actually happy that he closed it. Now I've got queen a4. Picking the pawn up and defending d4. Taxi driver crisis. Well, here in Budapest particularly, I mean, they have a lot of issues because the government sort of imposed a lot of regulations, and it's kind of messed up. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of problems in the States too with Uber. It's not easy being a taxi driver, man. A lot of the guys will like drive cabs and do Uber too. I don't know how that works, but I guess anything's possible. Alright, queen takes c4. I guess I could have played knight e5 there instead. That may have just been really strong. I'm an idiot. I'm so stupid not to play knight e5 there. He's got no good answer for that move. Knight d5. Then I'm just taking on c6. This was like crushing. I got too distracted talking. I get excited whenever we talk about taxis for some reason. Sorry about that, guys. I lost the focus. Trying to be comedic here. I lost my focus. He doesn't have an H pawn to play H6 anymore. Is that a problem? I think that restricts his options quite a bit. You know, oh, you can't play H6 anymore. 95 was totally winning. But I always think, like, what do I do if I have to stop playing chess and get a normal job, you know? And it's too late for me to go into, like, you know, really complex sort of industry. I think I'd have to go with some kind of really mundane job. It would either be like driving a taxi, because that's what all, like, intelligent people who can't have a normal job do. And the second would be to be like a postman. I think I'm always joking about that. Not to diss, like, postman, but it's not an exciting sort of career. Knight e5, knight takes e5, pawn takes e5, bishop takes e5, pawn takes e5. I want to sack this pawn. Screw it. All right. I've alienated taxi drivers, but I'm actually giving them, and post office people, giving them. I mean, I need to think about my future. You know, what I'm gonna do if chess doesn't pan out. Basically, I would make way more money as a postal delivery guy. Although you could probably do what a friend of mine did and go with UPS. You know, they probably make better money. But I'm not sure I could drive one of those big trucks. I've never really driven a big truck. Like, I've driven like a moving van once, but okay, 95. I didn't feel comfortable even driving the moving truck, to be honest. Okay, bishop takes e5. Well, I guess the UPS truck isn't as bad as that. He didn't even think about taking the pawn. I mean, like, this was like the only thing I was even thinking about, like trying to justify his position. I guess it doesn't even work because I have queen f4. Maybe he did think about it and calculated much faster than me. But clearly he's in hurt now. I think I'm getting kind of fancy. A hurtful world. This is getting too fancy. Okay. Why don't I just play e4? Because I hang a rook. Okay. What am I doing? Guys, okay. Alright, I need to just focus and stop messing around. Yes, the bishop was hanging. Alright. I know that somebody probably said it. I didn't even... I found it on my own. Okay, I'm very proud. Driving is relaxing. It depends on where you're driving. I, like, had total road rage incidents when I used to live in Boston. I lost my mind. I was, like, holding down the horn for, like, 2 minutes. And I had, a massive incident with a trash truck driver once. Like, I was total road rage. There was this trash truck, and the guy kept doing this every week. He would, like, drive the trash truck down the street the wrong way on a one-way street. And I just lost my mind. I was like, dude, it was gonna be like 20 minutes, and I just laid on the horn, and the guy was, you know, like the typical trash truck driver. Huge, with like massive muscles, extremely large. I just was very close to getting myself killed. Okay, queen d4. The road rage happens, you know, even to the nicest people. In a city environment, particularly. Boston was horrible to have a car. I totally would never ever do that again. Alright. f6. Even Budapest is horrible. But I can see in a non-city, you know, place, it's fine. The trash truck driver was not happy. Nobody ever, like, messed with him. But luckily I was with someone else, and they sort of, like, tried to pull me out of the situation before it got completely out of control. This guy was just gonna, like, kill me. You know, he was there to go down the street the wrong way, and nobody was going to stop him, like, from doing that and just messing with people. Do not mess with trash truck drivers. That's a third option, but I'm not big enough, really, to be a trash truck driver, a proper one. You know, because if somebody comes to you, you're the trash truck driver, and you've got, you know, you got a person there who has road rage. I mean, you've got to be big enough to take out the road rage person like me. If you're not big enough, I mean, you can't really be a proper trash truck driver. Basically. All right, are we just winning a piece here? He's got queen 7 with mate in 1. That's the trick. Yeah, that's not happening. That's not happening, okay? Okay. Yeah, we're just going to kill the fun here. I'm having fun with this conversation today. It's been kind of... Driving is relaxing. Can be. You know, on the highway, you're listening to some good music or whatever. Hey, I think we should make sure that, you know, William doesn't drive, you know, in road rage enhancing situations, okay? Anyway, we got comedy if we don't have chess. We've got at least comedy here. Mate in 1. Baleful. Isn't this a little bit much now? Playing for the cheapo? Seriously? Alright. He went full on cheapo. Didn't even recapture. I mean, okay, he's already down a piece, so he has nothing to lose. Ponda would be on his ornament. No, we need like a Ponda air freshener. Alright. Too many pieces here. I'm going to sack a rook. Well, c6 right away, actually, that's a good move. But now you're not going to be able to play king b8, actually, so I'm not so sure. There is no good move here. That's the truth. Okay, he's got g5. That's fine. g5, b5, takes. Come on, where's the mate? Do you see the mate? I don't actually see a mate. We're about to lose on time, so I've got to move it along here. But I don't see a forced mate of any sort. Maybe this move. That's kind of a killer. Cute move like keeping him. Come out with your hands up. Yeah, you're smushed now. Wait. This gotta be mate. Can we calculate that far? Queen b7 was an option to defend, apparently. Found that. Okay, I'm getting carried away with my silly stories, guys. We gotta calm down. Too much coffee, I think. Okay, Drakenfire is up. We're gonna play for another hour here, so we got plenty of time. Feel free to challenge me. Anybody with like an established account, 100 games. You don't have to be a subscriber. We've already been taken down a notch by Morales. Very nice game earlier. Drakenfire played c5. Cool. Nobody plays this. Shouldn't have gone for this crazy attack with only 5 minutes on the clock. There's a question as to whether it's better to do like knight c3 or c4 in such positions. I mean, knight c3 is kind of the standard move, but I'm not so sure. The normal Benoni might be better. Okay, Asterbait. Where's Asterbait? In the house here? It's not really a check Benoni though. This is like a hybrid. It's not considered as good as the normal check Benoni. Bishop check. Give me more coffee. I don't need more coffee, man. I'm gonna get ridiculously silly now. So that's silly enough. Cheesy wants me to be more silly, but I think we're silly enough. Pretty good game. Pretty good game. I haven't seen Soltigo for a while. I'm a little worried about him. Alright, we're going back to d3 here, or d to e2. Knight Knight f3, knight d7. We're going to maneuver this, usually, in these systems. He can play a kind of, what's it called? Lion's jaw strategy, I guess, for lack of a better name. This is possible in the Philidor as well. h4. You gotta like h4. Where's the Ponda? Oh no. Tobias isn't here now, but Yabadas, one of our subscribers, he really likes this kind of knight maneuver we were talking about yesterday, and usually it's the H pawn that's the punisher, the bamboo stalk attack, basically. All right, so we're ready for the H4 Ponda. H4 Ponda emotes in the house. You know, this is always a good idea when you're talking about a knight on g6. And if we see h5, you see the problem for black is that he can't play g6 and knight g6. Like in some structures you need to play g6, and sometimes you need to put the knight on g6, but you can't have both. Like he has to make a determination to do like one or the other. So I think this is just good for white. Okay, it doesn't win itself, but white has a kind of lasting positional advantage. Now we can go and combine plans, like the river guarding rook. All kinds of Chinese themes going on here. The river guarding rook, aka what Pichu99 was talking about before. We've got rook a3. But I mean, I've seen in these type of themes, these type of positions also rook b3. And rook b3 we can even put frontal pressure on the b6 pawn. And I remember years ago seeing David Grigo, who was a really, really strong FIDE master, like IM strength FIDE master, playing a game with white in this type of setup where he just mounted pressure with like rook on b3, knight on c4. It's not so easy to break through though, because that b6 pawn can be protected. He's canceled his streaming schedule and removed a notice about delaying his streams until further notice. Alright, rook a3. It's a useful move. We're not going to be castling queenside. Basically, knight here is a plan with the bouncing through c4 and some lines. Another break which occasionally comes up is b4. That would be maybe a different plan. I would play like rook b1 and play for a b4 break. But I think now I've committed to h4. We can't really do everything. I thought that rook a3 could actually work laterally. I'm really just trying to do that thing you do when you're a beginner, you know. You do rook a3. I talked about this last week. Everybody like starts out like that. a4, rook a3, rook e3, rook d3. Driving around with the rooks in front of your pawns, like in the first 7 moves. That's always funny. There's got to be a name for that, you know. Those other kids in high school who just knew how to move the pieces, or wherever, you know, you started playing chess. The first impulse is, I probably did it too. The funny story with me with chess was that when I learned, quote-unquote, learned how to play chess at first, we used to play in lunch break in like elementary school, or when it was rainy or something like that. There were chess pieces. And the funny thing was, although I like did this quote-unquote playing chess at lunch break for a few years in elementary school, I didn't know the rules. You know, I knew how the pieces moved. Literally knew how the pieces moved because I learned it. But I didn't understand the object of the game. So I didn't understand checkmate. I just knew the rules for how all the pieces moved. So we would just play and just capture all the other guys' pieces. You know how people do that. Playing like it's checkers instead of chess. Yeah, Pichu. Doubling the rooks to attack f7 when you're 6 years old. Bringing the rooks out to like f3, and this is standard. So I ended up learning how the pieces move at a fairly young age, but actually not learning the proper rules of the game until I was like in junior high school, basically like 7th grade or something. So it was enlightening, you know. All those years I had been, for like 5 or 6 years, I had been moving the chess pieces without even understanding checkmate or fundamental things. I think I played in my first unrated tournament in like 7th grade. Not going to say what year that was. Needless to say, I think I'm 39 now. All right, knight g6. Now we don't have h5 or we have h5. This is a question. But the thing is he can go here. So I think that's a problem. We have to play g3. But this was part and parcel with the whole strategy. And this is what I'm talking about. You can't have knight g6 and g6 too. So if he ends up with problems with his h-pawn, if he plays h5, he could wedge a knight on g5, and it's very uncomfortable for black. If he doesn't play h5, he's going to run into h5, so it's like one or the other. Either this destroys his position, or he plays h5 and gives me g5. He's going to put the knight on h8 now. It's actually bringing back memories of my last game now. Do I really want to hurt you? I don't know. h5, h6 might close it up too much, just like Baleful. You know, honestly, though, I mean, h5 itself probably can't be a bad move. If he plays h6, he'd be really hurting for space. But on the other hand, I think my preference here is to kind of keep my options open. So maybe we can play the knight d2, knight c4. Gotta watch Petrosian keeping e4 strong point supported. Knight c4 bounce maneuver. And, uh-oh, what's this about? He's trying to play f5. Don't even think about that, okay? Okay? Don't even think about that. Bishop g4. Fighting for the e4 square again, Petrosian. Iron, Tigran. Iron, tire, iron. What am I saying anyway? e4. Just make cool patterns. Yeah. That's what you do when you're in elementary school. I mean, modern children learn chess at 3, but I'm glad I didn't, because honestly, there's a lot of other cool stuff I learned to do that I wouldn't want to miss out on. But that's why I'm not world champion, obviously, because I didn't start playing till I was like 11 or 12. Rook f5. We got the e4 Petrosian motif. His knight is really stupid, isn't it? And he's trying to get in b5, it looks like. No b5. Actually, he's got some naughty ideas. It reminds me of a game I had with this guy, Frank Ferenc, 2 years ago in Harkheim. He plays ridiculous openings. It's like an older FIDE master. He just plays totally ridiculous made-up stuff where his pieces are on totally random squares with no space. And it's enough to beat like weird players, but against strong players, it's not going to cut it. Okay, bishop takes h4 now, some sort of desperate combination. This definitely doesn't work, but what's the best? I think we can go ahead and just take it. Alright, that was the weirdest mouse slip I ever made. Blunder and counter blunder. I just literally mouse slipped g4 when I was supposed to take on h4. And Drakfire sacked a piece anyway. It's not going to work, man. All of my pieces are working. The river guarding rook is good now. Yeah, I was waiting for that maneuver. You cried because you got second place? Then damn, dude. That's some serious expectations of success. There's no mate here. That's harsh, though. I mean, to cry because you got second place? Some serious perfectionism going on. My first tournament, it was a nightmare. It was this unrated tournament that was a knockout format. Like, never do that, like, for little kids. You don't have knockout tournaments. Like, one round knockout, maybe, like, multi-round knockout, but, like, lose one game and go home, like the Chicago Cubs. I mean, it was horrible. I never wanted to play again after that. Alright, I've got Unknown 182, 21-17 from Peru. And as long as he's got 100 games, let's do it. So he's unknown. Also from, who else do I know from Peru? The poker player FU15. He's actually American though. No, maybe he was living somewhere else. I thought it was Peru. He was a really strong online poker pro in the top 10. Once he like helped me win a satellite by eliminating all the other players. Except for me. Peru. Alright, Bishop G2. I like playing this system. I really like this against Chigorin. I like other stuff against the Chigorin too. But for some reason when I play Knight F3, D5, G3, everybody plays Knight C6. Because they just expect people to let them play E5. I think that's why they like to play it. The majority of people probably don't play D4. They just keep playing the King's Indian attack and let black have like a reverse Peerts. But I mean, D4 is clearly the best move for white. So I get the system a lot. Queen D7 is an aggressive move. But I think that C4 is strong. It's kind of like, can you really play this stuff and have time to play maybe E6? I mean, it doesn't make sense, you know? I think Queen D7 is an ambitious system that's essentially playable with white with the reverse of this position, but when you start trying to play it with colors reversed, it just doesn't quite work. You're black, you're a tempo down on the position where you would be playing the white pieces. I mean, it's asking a little bit too much. I think that, okay, Sedlak played E5 against me. No, I didn't play Bishop G2. Against Nicola, I played a special move order here with C4. That was special prepared move. But I don't know. Yeah, now he plays E6. So E6 and Queen D7. I was teaching one of my students who's a Chigorin player. We kind of had the feeling like these sort of things where you do E6 and Queen D7. I mean, it kind of cuts across two different plans. It seems kind of weird. Sometimes you see these club players who play the same setup every single game with both colors. Yeah, dude. I mean, the London system's like that. And I would just quit chess out of sheer boredom. If I had to play the London system with both colors every single game, I mean, it's like playing tic-tac-toe. You know, you would just get bored with it. I mean, the fun of chess for me is the infinite possibilities. If chess becomes this monotonous kind of thing, then it would cease to be fun. But whatever floats your boat, you know. I mean, yeah, of course, if you're a club player, you can't be, like, learning every different system. I mean, there has to be a in between. I think some kind of, like everything else, moderation. Having 2 or 3 openings you play. And also, if you're a club player and you play the same system every game, I mean, the other club players are just going to, like, zone in on it, you know? I mean, you're better off playing a couple different things and being able to improvise. But, of course, you know, if the boredom doesn't get you, then you can do it. I joked about this guy, Stephen Mohammed, who was a African-American IM. He would literally, like, play the London system every single game with white. And I always thought it was funny because with black he played the King's Indian, you know, and like the King's Indian is like dynamic and the London system isn't really dynamic, and I just thought it was strange. One day he just, like when he was a beginner, somebody taught him to play those openings, he just played them, you know, but the King's Indian is much more complex than, say, the London system. Actually, King's Indian players, I think, are mostly annoyed by the London system. You think you wouldn't want to... As a King's Indian player, I never really respected it, and I always thought it was boring, too. So bishop b4. Oh, well, I guess there's nothing to think about here. Nothing to look at, folks. Just 4 knights game, Gioco Piano or Queen's Gambit. Basic, solid openings. Of course, you're Hungarian. We have some... Okay, the elite players are going to have coaches, Lukács and other theoreticians who teach them to play like sharper systems. But yeah, the average club kids are going to play standard, solid stuff. But that's the case probably world over. Barca system. Okay, some people call it the Barca system with G3, and some people call it like the Benko. Because Benko played like one game with Bobby Fischer, where he played, I guess he played like G3 on move 1. That's why we should call it the Benko system, and it seems kind of strange. By the way, Benko is still alive. He's living in Hungary. He's probably like 90 years old. Barca's long dead. Gideon Barca. I'm liking this for white, though. Black gave up his dark squared bishop. You know, this is kind of an important piece. I haven't seen Benko in like 5 years. He used to go to like the Hungarian Chess Federation and hang out there sometimes. We never talked very much, like a couple times. I'm kind of sorry, though. It would be cool to do like an extensive interview with Paul. I wanted to do that with the Hungarian Grandmaster Lilienthal, but he died like right after I had the idea, you know, to interview him. He literally died. Bad timing. All right, f3, bishop g5, lots of good stuff here. Benko's an interesting person. We have a lot in common that we've kind of like spent part of our lives in the United States and part of our lives here. His life far more interesting than mine, of course. But the fact that Benko moved to the United States for so long, you know, for basically like 30 years, and then came back here and moved his life back here, it's really interesting. All right, now, what do we do? Knight back to d2. There's tactics. Never walk into this knight takes d4 shot, children. Be aware. That's an accelerated dragon tactic, actually. One that I know of. Timely move by black. Maybe I have knight e5. Just simply take. Queen takes, rook takes. I bet this guy is good tactically. He's making some positional mistakes. Usually you're good at one or the other. He hasn't been that good strategically, so tactically he's probably really strong. He's got b4. Knight to b2, b4. It's a nice idea. So I guess I have to go here, but this is kind of weird. Not what I wanted. I mean, I'm blocking my own pawn on e4. Ponda. Okay. Alright. Let's move it along. Nothing to see here. Just kind of free-flowing, whatever pops in my head. During these fast games, it's easier to talk about random stuff because I just don't have quite enough time to really talk about the position. Bishop c5, I'm not sure about this move. But he was threatening b4 again. to break up my center. I guess I have f4, but he'll have control of the e4 square. So it's been a weird game. Knight d5 probably not a good move objectively. We have a really strong center here. First year at club, you played the King's Gambit. Yeah, it's like you're doing the opposite of what Pichu was talking about. Club players normally can do. Try to play something safe and solid. But the guy is getting kind of positional now, in a sense. Very good white square control for black. If I don't commit to f4, maybe I can mess around with like g4, h4. He has a solid defensive position though. That's an excellent move, dude. Speaking of river guarding rooks, I was just going to suggest it. But I didn't want to give him the idea though. Wow. That takes guts to play that move. And now I don't have the e6 because his rook covers e6, one of his main ideas. But I mean f6 is inherently risky. Now what do? We go with the full Monty. Rook e6 is kind of suicidal. Wow, now e6 is too slow. This has got to be winning for white. It's just too strong. The kingside phalanx. I need to break it open somehow. He is resourceful. No way to defend the rook there. The attack is too strong now. It was a good game. Thank you for the game. I'm not going to do a rematch because I'm playing lots of different challengers here. This guy's a new account, so we're not going to take that. I do ask that everybody has 100 games. We have time for like probably 3 more games, guys. If you want to get some challenges in there, I'll play 3 more people, but they have to have approximately 100 games. The last guy who tried to challenge me was like all provisional. Yeah, that's the problem, dude. I'm not gonna play you because all your account is totally new. That's not happening. So I don't want to have to block you, so don't keep challenging me. What is up, guys? Fun game. I think the key moment here was when I played like g4. It feels like black should be alright, but I'm threatening to avalanche him with f4, f5. Alright, you're gonna have to block him. I'm sorry, dude, but that's just not polite. Goodbye. Alright, I'm a nice guy, but you can only push me so far. Not polite, dude. Do not like keep challenging people that decline your challenge. G4. I like the way that black found resources here with rook a6, with the white square blockade, the strong knight on c4. It feels like he's just about holding this together, but he needs to find a way to meet this, and maybe he has to bite the bullet and play f5. He played f6. I wonder about f5 instead. Like, seriously, can you just blockade on the white squares? I could face very difficult time making progress here after that move. Unless I could sack my queen or something. I don't see that happening. You never know. I mean, it could be some weird queen sacrifice, but I don't think that's going on. It literally looks like f5 is pretty good. White could even lose because he's got all these pieces that can function on the white squares. And if I reach a situation where it's just like good knight against bad bishop, I'm going to be in deep trouble in that situation. So, yeah, he has excellent chances after f5, it appears. Guys, we have any more challenges? We never run out of challenges. I have to start playing like random people from the Twilight Zone here. Play. We got lag? No lag. Play. Please support the stream, guys, by the way. We've got excellent donations from Clash Kid, Midnight Rhino, Neil Swint this week, but we can always use as much as possible to help me be able to do the stream. I hope the stream is running okay. I don't see any comments for a few minutes, but it looks like it's alright. Let's see. We've got some skipped frames, but it looks like we're up to date. Some drop frames, but the stream is functioning. Only 31 viewers. I don't know why we have so few viewers lately. It seems like the morning streams have not been getting enough. I'm going to be moving to USA in 2 weeks. We're going to be streaming from my summertime schedule, basically. But for some reason, my morning streams have not been getting as many viewers here. And it's been a marked drop of like, basically a marked drop of over 10 viewers on morning streams on lichess. And I can't really figure out why. There's no reason why we should have a major drop-off. The morning streams usually had about 50 viewers, and it's been dropping down to like in the 30s. And if anybody can understand why, let me know. Alright, let's just take a random game, I guess. We'll play someone random because we're not getting any challenges. Create. Let's see what there is in the lobby here. Norba. Could be Hungarian. That's 3-0 though. I don't want to play 3-0. 1700s. Play a chess 960 against some random guy. Let's do this. Playing a random guy in chess 960. You don't know you're on the stream. So he sees I'm streaming, right? I never do this, that I play random people, but it's fun. But I've got to figure out why my viewers are down on the morning streams. Europe is an inferior market because you're not here, Bob, for one thing. I just dropped my game. Wow. Yeah, good thing. Just a draw. It's just a big draw. No, but I mean, it's weird. It's been very consistent, Bob. Like, we're talking about pretty much for the best part of 2 years. I've had consistent viewership on these morning streams. On the European side. And I can't figure out why the last 3 days it's just really dropped down this week. I mean, it's a glitch on the radar, but I don't really understand. There could be something concrete behind it. Alright, so he took with the knight on b1. That was kind of a mistake, I thought. Yeah, this is like one of the most boring chess 960 positions I've seen. Not a lot of life here. Opposite color bishops, symmetrical. He's even copycatting me. I mean, come on, dude. Get your own plan. I mean, e4 it's tempting, but it also gives him maybe a break with g4. The g4 is probably stronger than d3. Okay, so Anonymous says it's the Olympiad going on right now. I mean, that's weird because, yeah, I mean, mostly tournaments don't start in the morning. So Anonymous could be maybe has some point to that. I wouldn't think it would be responsible for as many as 10, but if people are streaming as a result of the Olympiad, it's possible. You could be right, sir. You could be right. But what about the round times for the Olympiad? I mean, were they all conflicting with my Monday and Wednesday streams? Were those in the morning? Might want to check the lichess website ranking figures. Says Bob. This guy's pretty good for 1877. This is probably close to equal. Black has some micro advantage. Micromanaging. What a weird game. He doesn't have a knight sacrifice like on e4. We need to play this like carefully. But in the endgame, we could have a very good chance. Generally, weaker players are bad in endgames. We do have better king position. If it comes down to an endgame, his king on h1 is going to hurt him really bad. Ops-colored bishops do present winning chances if you do have other pieces on the board. But I'm not worried about the stream in general. Yesterday's stream was good, but the morning ones. But I mean, the rounds weren't in the morning, were they? Anonymous? Until the last day or two. Wow, he's doing this. How does that work? Queen takes. B2. I mean, I guess he basically just blundered a pawn. I mean, I was just slightly concerned about what. Well, obviously the file. Pawn takes pawn. Queen down. There is that factor too. He has c4 now. It's complicated. Don't ask, it's complicated. That's all I can say. This guy's decent though. He's Latvian and he's 2196 in blitz. So, another country where players are not bad. Now I have pawn takes pawn. Then queen f3 wins. Sneaky. So I won't have any of that. This does cut off my queen. We have to do something. Got such a small edge here. So c4. Yeah, everything's protected except for b7, the square where he can mate me. Alright. How's his bullet? 2044, so he's competent. He's not a specialista, but competent. We didn't get any challenges. That's a bad sign too. I mean, we never have that where we don't at least have a challenge from someone. A very strange noise outside. Queen e3. He's clearly going into bullet mode. But we have good chances here. It's a nice compact position, two connected passed pawns. I don't know if this move helped me. Help me. Glorified cheapo. mean, the 2 pawns should really be winning. It doesn't make life easy here. Strange diagonal. Whoa. He's pretty fast. Seems like he's accelerating. Yes. You definitely wonder why this guy would choose to play. Why he would choose to play with increment. No? Why would a player who's this fast in the later stages would voluntarily like prefer playing with increment? He seemed to totally disregard the increment at the end. He should be playing like 3-0 instead of 3+2. Where is everybody? Bob sent them off to the Olympics. Okay, guys, we have 30 minutes left in the stream. Let's get a couple other challenges out there. Flying Lion asked me if we can play. I only play with people who have established rating, so you guys know. Open challenges. If you have 100+ games. JCS, what's up? Not you. Oh, you're too good, man. You're not allowed to challenge me. You make me look bad. Might want to check the lichess website ranking figures. What does that mean? What's happening? Did chess Olympics start already? This is the last round, so okay. I mean, it's very possible that today's stream is actually short of viewers, concretely because of it. It's really the last round, and a lot of people are watching. Serious chess players are watching. Where's Astrobate? Astrobate's too tired now. It's too late for a lot of you guys. What if someone doesn't have 100+ rated games? I mean, if they're close, you know, or if I know them and I trust them, it's okay. Like Chi, if you or somebody else who is, you know, openly part of the stream here, I'm just intending this really for people who are absolutely total strangers. That's my rule. I will make exceptions, and that includes my simul on Sunday. Now here's a guy. We got a guy. All right. Man, I couldn't sell a game here. Now we got 2 challenges. All right, we upped our chess 960 rating. That game was kind of sketchy. I didn't have much there. Looks like Vietnamese player, 2001, Space Odyssey. Got some lag kicking in again. Got a minor wave of lag. But I wouldn't mind doing a stream where I just play random people. You know, I mean, a lot of streamers, many of them do that, especially with Bullet, but I like to make the streams so that we're playing against viewers so that it's kind of beneficial both ways. I mean, I'm not just playing random people, making myself look good, acting cool, although I am cool. But anyway, Bishop G5. The only time I ever beat Erdos Victor, it was a Botvinnik variation, rapid game. But he plays Bishop E7. This is a very standard move for people who don't know a lot of theory. I mean, you're just transposing into a Merle. Actually, where's Merle? Merle Dixon variation of the Queen's Gambit. C6 is considered unnecessary for black. Well, some people like Kramnik have even played this. You mean as in cheat protection? The people should have a certain amount of games rated? Yeah, I mean, people troll, streamers. I mean, they could create an account just to kind of mess with me. I mean, they have in the past, I think. So, they could create an account today for the specific purpose of kind of just trolling me with an engine or whatever. Yeah. So it's a kind of cheat protection for me. I don't really want to encourage people to cheat against me. And it seems like they're much more likely to do so if they have few rated games. So I try to keep it under control. This is interesting. Maybe bishop f4. Bishop f4, knight h5, bishop e5, knight takes e5, pawn takes e5. There he could trade queens, though. The a6 I'm not crazy about for black. But you do see it from time to time. I guess he can try to do the d takes c4, bishop takes c4, b5, and then try to play for c5. He hasn't castled yet, and he's played a6. Now, I suppose c5 is the main line for this type of position. But he breaks with b6, and if a4, this is probably normal. Can black play e5? That's another question. I don't want to encourage people to cheat, and it seems like playing totally random new accounts is a good way to do that. But I guess a lot of people don't give a hoot about it. I'd rather just eliminate that slight increased possibility. I mean, when I see people who are cheating, right, like the majority of them have relatively new accounts. Because after a while, if you repeat this behavior, your account will get banned. Anyway, bishop g3, so basically people who have a lot of games tend not to be computers. It's like, that's pretty much a no-brainer. So we got the space here, and we're going to sort of suffocate black if they can't break out. I don't think that h6 helps their case now. Black should have played like d takes c4, and as I said, like b5, and trying to free themselves with c5. Or maybe another plan, instead of playing a6, this is what Merle Dixon did, this guy who plays a lot of draws against me. He just plays like h6, bishop h4, d takes c4, bishop takes c4, and knight d5. Although there I would have bishop g3 actually. So it depends. White should try to avoid exchanges of pieces when you have a space advantage like this. Black is just really, really short of space here. Except he does have knight h5 actually. Why did I allow him to play knight h5? Oh no, he didn't have a choice. Okay, last move was queen d8, but last move he could have played this now. I guess he has to play this. Knight h5 essentially. Knight e8 now. Like not nearly as good as knight h5. So I can play e4. Black's preparing maybe f5. There is the possibility of f5, f4. So if e4, pawn takes pawn, bishop takes f5, physically trapping my bishop, is quite interesting for black. But let's see. Take with a knight, f5. I got no good squares. Take with the bishop, and if f5, bishop c2, f4, queen d3, threatening mate. It's not actually mate. It's a slight problem. Close enough, though. Alright, I think we can do this. We're going to base it on bishop c2, queen d3. Winning a piece of f5, f4 weakens his king side. There is one small problem. Perhaps. I thought the Olympiad started after the stream was over. No, I think the thing is, Bob, that that the last couple rounds have been morning. I think it's already started. How about knight takes f5, knight d6? f4. And sadly, I'm just like losing a piece there. Sadly for me. the battery powered. Bishop c2, queen d3. So the tactical solution against f5, f4. The previous rounds I thought did start later, Bob, and therefore wouldn't explain my bad stats for... I mean, I don't have to retreat this, actually. There's a case to be made for giving that up, I suppose. But in general, you don't want to exchange pieces when you have more space. I hung my knight. QD pie. We can make a QD pie move here. Like knight e5. Knight takes e3, queen d3. I don't really want to fix his structure. The problem is my b4 pawn is hanging. I bet the guy's really strong tactically, because positionally he's been fairly weak. You can pretty much read people. I mean, if he was good at everything, he would be 2400. But he's played so passively, it's almost like automatic that he's really strong tactically. To be 2000 plus and to play such a passive type of setup. But again, a good tactician would probably tend to be more aggressive, so it doesn't really make sense. So much for Sherlock Holmes. Comes another guy. The knight on d5 is arguably quite strong. This isn't a good move. I'm starting to get angry here. It's becoming frustrating how hard it is to break this guy with his passive position. It's just not fair. Look at this a5. Man, I could get toasted really fast. Hate doing this. Fix his structure, let his bishop out. But maybe I have some concrete tactics. Knight e5. Knight e5. Knight e4, f3. He took the other way. Wow. That's probably a big mistake. It's hard to be good at anything if you never develop pieces. That's true, Bob. That's true. He's playing with a very bad bishop on c8. The bane of the Queen's Gambit declined. Now I play f3. And he's in some trouble now. He's got to go back. And we've got very direct threats. Bishop h4. Knight g4. But imagine if he plays like this all the time, how good he is as a defender, Bob. They call him the public defender. He's a lawyer by trade. 94. Wow, dude. Take, e5. Some people just like defending. Look at this. See, he's gonna like hold this together. Am I lost yet? Like, check him out. Something crazy about this. Oh, my knight is just lost. Eight seconds left. Doesn't really make a lot of sense, does it? Whoa. I think he was holding it there until the last moment. Maybe yet he's still holding on. I think I was probably lost at some point. Still got your favorite bishop, Bob. That's the decisive factor. Man, that was hairy. I had like no time. I think my attack didn't work at one point. It was probably failing. Man. It made me cringe when it was at what candidates? Where you actually sacked for attack. If there's a time to be a man, this was it. What? Oh, Karyakin. Okay. I missed mate. I missed everything. I missed probably I was like losing at some point. So we got one more challenge, guys. I think this will be the last game for today. Artie Fufkin. He's got 98 games. And rapid. Okay, then definitely is enough. This is not a rated game, right? Casual, classical, rapid. Let's do it. Artie doesn't play blitz. What do you advise to play opening wise for a more tactical and positional player? 1700 to 1800. You're asking for Aiden. Were we talking with white or for black? Good luck, Artie. Or you mean like everything? I mean, the more tactical player should really play e4. I mean, there's no question, you know. Yes, d4 can become tactical. There are certain very sharp lines, but I think they're more rare. With e4, you have more room to force sharp positions than with d4. That's with white. And probably, you know, something like the Scotch, something, you know, rather than the Roy Lopez, which everybody plays, or the Joko. I mean, you might want to think about playing the Scotch, say, which forces more open types of positions. And with black, I mean, the Alekhine is kind of pushing it, you know, for anybody under 2000. I'm not sure I want to recommend them to play the Alekhine's defense. I mean, he plays b3. And b3 is just weird, you know, but it's going to lend itself to closed positions, which I'm not sure the tactical player is going to really benefit from that much. Yeah, he should play e4. And I played rook c1 against this guy. c5 straight up. Wow. Artie Fufkin. Pretty modest position for me, really. What can I do? I think he's also fast. What's his deal? He's 1600 in classical. He doesn't play blitz, but he's only used 12 seconds for the first 10 moves. He's obviously got an alt account for blitz. He's playing me on his classical rapid account. So he was playing the London. I mean, that's a disaster. Okay, there are ways to play the London as an attacking system now. I mean, there's more ways. There used to be just a really boring opening. It's been improved. Anything is better than the London system. Yeah, e4 really pretty much mandatory. But again, you don't have to play main lines. I think the Scotch is a good choice, for example. In e4, e5, open Sicilian. With black, I mean, you know, obviously the Sicilian is the choice by most people's definitions. But I think something else, the Alekhine's defense seems to be going too far. I think for a player under 2,000, really, you're ceding too much. Maybe the Pirts or something like that, you know, would be a good choice. Pirts or Sicilian, Pirts modern or Sicilian. And don't go as far as the Alekhine's defense. I think it's too much of a concession. Caro-Kann is not what we're looking at here. But this is a recommendation of repertoire for a tactically oriented player with around 1800. I think you need something dynamic. Pirts or Sicilian. My position is pretty lame, to be frank. I don't normally play rook c1. I don't know what got into me, like with that move, because I never ever play that. I did it one other time against Alexander Onishuk and regretted it because I don't know the theory very well. Ended up losing against Onishuk. I just have a stupid passive position. And my bishop's on e2, that's additionally stupid. Alright, so what are we going to do here with this passiveness? We'll just pretend we're black or something. Total disaster, bishop on e2. What would I do if I'm black? Try to break out with like knight e5? Does that even make sense? Take. It's probably nothing. Take on c5 and play a hanging pawn position. It's lame, but maybe it'll give him a way to go wrong by creating a more imbalance in the position. I guess I can pretend that I'm playing the c3 Sicilian with black or something. I don't really know what else to envision here. There's some idea. They can also take... Well, I mean, he's handicapping himself by playing Alekhine's defense all the time, I think. That's just like... It's like, you know, making your own life hard on purpose. You're probably stronger than 1800 if you've got the 1800 playing Alekhine's defense. It's just not a really good opening. I can tell you from trying to play it myself. So he decides to play knight takes c5. Okay, this is a totally different approach. Very good control of the e4. The question seems to be where to put my queen here. Well, I guess we're not going to put it anywhere just yet. Let's centralize the knight. I'm equal, but I'm not better. Because I'm essentially black. Due to my stupid bishop e2, rook c1, and passive formation. Okay, it's impossible to get an advantage in the Queen's Gambit declined with white against perfect play. But one should at least play something a bit sharper than a bishop e2. I had to at least put my bishop on d3. Rook c8 now. A fairly natural move. But I think I can play knight f5 here and just claim an advantage based on the bishop pair. I claim an advantage. And you can't really get rid of the knight on f5 in a convenient way. Knight e6, perhaps, is his best move. Well, he might lose a pawn there. Knight e6, take, 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 take. No, he doesn't lose a pawn. Doesn't lose a pawn. Knight e6, where do I go? Bishop h4. Maybe queen d7, just like losing a tempo. This is starting to look like JCS. This is starting to look like some resemblance to my position with black in our Discord channel game, but I mean, white is fianchettoed in that position. Something slightly different. You think the Sicilian is too advanced? Well, I mean, not as bad as something like that. I mean, you're being really a purist if everyone under 2000 can only play e4, e5. You know, I think the Sicilian is okay. It's more dynamic, but it's not as extreme like playing Alekhine's defense. I was playing the Sicilian when I was like 1300. I mean, it worked out. I was also playing the English opening with white, which is kind of a weird thing to do. It's similar to my game with Pichu. Knight e6, bishop takes f6, knight takes e2 check, knight takes e2 check. What would Magnus Carlsen do? So knight e6, bishop takes f6, knight takes d4, bishop takes e7, knight takes e2. Got a nice endgame. A la Magnus. Bishop f3, knight g5 is a little concerning. I have knight b5, then bishop a6. So what do we do here? What do you do for a Klondike bar? Alright, I don't know. We're kind of sad because it looks like he's almost equalized. What the heck? There's a sick plan here, Karpov style. This doesn't look right though. Man, dude. Maybe Artie's like a genius. We have no idea how strong he is. I mean, it is still a new account. He's playing way better than average. I mean, knight g5. I think it's Pichu's other account. Pichu's other secret account. Almost identical position. That's insane. Like after bishop takes e4, we like have a very similar position, except he's got the broken pawns. The game with Pichu would be like just the pawn on g7 instead of f6 in the same exact position. China or India will win this year. I don't think, India was, I don't know, Tushar will be angry, but I didn't think they were really a serious threat. I mean, they're not as good. And the two defects is going to hurt black here, whereas Pichu didn't have two, he had only one. Okay, we got rook c7 too. This is clearly a strong move. Yeah, now he's in deep trouble. Problems with a7, in addition to his other problems. He can't hold this. Probably putting my pawn on the wrong color by doing that. I wonder if that's bad. We're definitely winning though. Well, if I take with my rook, I get my knight trapped, but not anymore. If he had stayed there, I could have gotten trapped with king d7. I guess I'd still have a4 with the probable like winning position. It's vastly better than my game with Pichu. Queenside majority ensures that I should be winning. Artie's putting up a lot of resistance here. I think the h5 pawn is like another weakness. Okay guys, we're out of here. This is the end of the stream. When I finish this game, we'll be back on Sunday with a simul. But Artie's losing his stuff. It was a reasonable game. Just a few inaccuracies by black. Should be enough now. King and pawn endgames are no place to be with negative pawns. Now we have a pass pawn on both sides. That's it. Game over. We only need one. We've got two. We'll check out the Olympiad. Beaver-derived flavorings. Interesting. Interesting, Bob. That might be good. I will talk to you guys later on Sunday. Thanks everybody for watching and playing. Hopefully everybody will be able to play 20 players for subscribers and friends of the stream on Sunday. It'll be 6:30 p.m. CEST. Thanks for tuning into the stream. Thank you guys. Don't forget to tell your mom, dad, your friends, everybody about how great our stream is, and make sure they all show up, okay? So don't forget to subscribe and employ the Panda emotes that you get with tier 2 subscriptions. And thanks to those of you who have subscribed. Thank you, Panda. We'll see you on Sunday. And that's about it. So good luck to everyone in the Olympiad today. We'll see who wins natural raspberry flavoring, Bob. Thank you, Bob, for sharing that. You're not a troll. That's an image I really want to imagine. Thank you, guys. We'll see you later. Cheesy, Acerbate. Cheesy, thanks for subscribing. Anonymous, JCS, Moobot, Acerbate, Clash Kid. I'll see you guys later. Thanks a lot. See you on Sunday. Bye-bye.